This episode of Pixel Perfect is brought to you by Netflix and GoDaddy.com. Hello and welcome to Pixel Perfect with me, Bert Monroy. On today's show, we're going to take a photograph and make it look like a drawing. Now, we've done something similar in other shows, but this time it's going to be slightly different. But first, today's background comes to us from Nigel Warwood. Look at this thing. Now, that was not an effect. That's really there, see? But anyway, that's a cool little job. I mean, look at all this stuff going on back there. And I even got my street named after me. Look at that. Wow, that's pretty cool. I hope that's the same Monroy. But anyway, before we start, let's talk about our sponsor, GoDaddy.com. They make it easy to customize your own virtual dedicated server. Choose one of 3 popular plans or select your own Linux or Windows server with all the plan options you need. Enter the code PIXEL13 and 20% off 1, 2, and 3-year hosting. Be sure to check out revision3.com/GoDaddy for all the Pixel Perfect GoDaddy deals and codes. There's a whole bunch of them on there. I also want to thank Netflix for sponsoring Pixel Perfect. And with them, with Netflix, you can rent over 90,000 titles online, including lots of Blu-ray titles with free shipping both ways to your home. 90,000. You can stay home for the rest of your life and just watch movies. The Netflix plans start from as little as $4.99, and as a new member, you can get a no-risk 2-week free trial membership. Check it out at www.netflix.com/pixelperfect. And yes, you do have to type in that www when you use this code. So now, let's get into the show. So now, this show here is a kind of a special one, and I started out with a picture of me right there, taken by my good friend Jack Resnicki, a photographer, and he took this shot some time ago, and it's perfect for what I want to do. I want to do this kind of a moody, kind of a painting kind of a thing here. So what I'm going to do is, right off the bat, I'm going to go in here, I'm going to do a little select all. I select all, and I'm going to turn it into a pattern. The whole thing is selected. I'm going to say define pattern. So the whole thing is a pattern. See, Bert, Jack Resnicki. Okay, then I can deselect it. So now it's a pattern. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate the background. Here's a duplicate right there. And this duplicate, I'm going to apply a filter to it. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to say filters, stylize, find edges, which is going to give me that kind of a grungy looking thing with the really hard edges where you might want to have the effect that you want there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here and desaturate. There's a lot of ways to desaturate. I'm just going to go into hue saturation and bring the saturation down. So it's just grays. There it is. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the mode of that new layer to multiply. Set it to multiply, which right now is appearing on top of the photograph and back, no sweat. Because right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a layer behind it. So I'm going to hold down my Command key, Control on a PC, and create a new layer, which creates it directly behind it. And that's where we're going to create a little canvas. So I'm going to go in here and pick a nice color. Let's say we pick this kind of a beigey color like that. That looks good. Maybe a little warmer would be nice. Yeah, that's good. And in that layer, I'm going to go ahead and fill that. Let's just do it by the menu. We'll say fill with the foreground color. At 100%, do it. There it is. So we got that effect. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this into a canvas. So I'm going to apply a filter to that layer. So I'm going to come over here, filter, down to texture, down to texturizer, where I'm going to go in there and apply a canvas. Right now it's set to canvas. So I'm going to bring my scaling down a little bit, bring up the relief a little, just so I get this nice kind of a relief happening. Bring down the thing a little more. Get a nice relief happening there. So we get this nice kind of a texture. That's scaling up just slightly. So there, now we have a good enough texture. Click OK, and now I got this texture back there. See? There we go. So now what I'm going to do is going to go back to my background guide, the one that's got the little drawing there. I'm going to bring down the opacity just a little bit, just a little, just tiny bit. So now, I'm going to go in here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here, and in a layer right behind us and in front of the canvas, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here to my clone stamp tool, but I'm going to choose the pattern stamp tool. Pattern stamp tool. And I'm going to get a nice brush. Let's get a nice soft brush like this 100 right here. That's a good one. And I'm going to start to draw in here. I'm going to start to draw right into this area here. And right now you can see that it's not doing anything, right? Why? Because I'm going to pick the pattern that I want. And there's the pattern. Remember I selected my image at the beginning? So I'm going to click that as my pattern. So now that I have that as the pattern, I'm also going to change the mode of that layer to hard light. Hard light, right? So now I'm going to start to draw again. And now you can see that it's creating the drawing in the back there, right through there. It's just bringing it up into little areas, right into these areas. I'm not going to go over everything, just little parts, just as if I've drawn a little bit of paint right on top of this thing, right in here, like so, right there. I might want to bring down the opacity just a little, let those other parts come through. And I'm going to take my smudge tool. First, you know what, let's get the eraser tool and clean up some of this stuff. I want some of this stuff to go away. I want it to kind of be more of a little triangle down there at the bottom. Then I'm going to get my smudge tool, this guy, a little finger tool, and let's get a nice big brush for that. Say like about 100, and I'm going to kind of just push some of these colors out. See, so it starts to get that look like it's done with a brush now. See, I'm going to just kind of pull these guys out, just get like that. Maybe get a smaller brush and just pull out a couple little wisps here and there. So it starts to look like it was done with a brush. See? Get all these nice little effects happening through there. And there we go. Get a little tone through there. And there we have this nice little drawing with a painted background going through it right in there. And then all you need to do at that point is add a little text to the bottom down there, which in this case is just some text where I added a little drop shadow, a little inner glow, and we got this nice little text happening down there. And you can see that it's a drawing. If you want, for a little more drama, you might want to go in there and maybe create another layer right in here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here and let's set this back to black and white and set the, reverse the order so it's white in the foreground. And I'll take a gradient tool with a radial gradient, and maybe I'll just, in that new layer, just throw a gradient right through here like that. Okay, and in reverse, I wanted the black in the middle here. Actually, no. Let's, create a little effect like that. And no, you know what? It looked better with the other way. That looked a little nicer. And I might want to go in there and, what are we doing here? Yeah, okay. And I'm going to set that to a different mode. Maybe we'll set that into maybe, let's see what an overlay is going to do to it. So it gives me that nice little drama. Maybe I want to invert it a little. There we go, so that gives us even more drama. So we're getting this nice effect of the white, which is what I was trying to get with that gradient. And there we can see that, bring down the opacity just a little. And there we can see that we have this nice kind of a drawing effect. You can see all these nice little pen strokes. At least they look like pen strokes, but basically what they are, it's just the fine edges over the original photograph and so on. And if it's not quite all there, we can get that clone tool, and let's just go in here and add some more of this color right into this area here, and get just a little more of our stuff happening in there, like that. And there we can see that we have this little drawing of myself right there. So, I tell you, a lot of stuff went in there. Some very simple. It's just a question of you changing a few things here and there, a different texture or some kind of a background, whatever's necessary. Just about anything that you can do. That's the beauty of Photoshop, is anything you can imagine, there's a way of doing it in there. I want to once again thank Nigel Warwood for submitting this incredible background. Let's see it once again. And the reason I look over there is because there's a monitor over there so I can see what I'm doing. I don't know where to put my hands. But anyway, I want to just say a little thing here. And it's an important little statement that some of you might not like to hear, but you remember a few months ago, they canceled Pixel Perfect. It was a big surprise to me. Ironically, it was the only time I actually wore a Tech TV shirt, and that ended up being the last show. Well, thanks to all you guys, they brought it back. Well, now it's a different story. Now it's my choice. This is the last Pixel Perfect. It has been a great run. 160 shows have been a lot of fun. It's been really rewarding to know that I've inspired a whole bunch of you. I can see it by the images you send and all the stuff you've been sending me online and so on. I can see that you guys have learned, and I've also inspired you to take things a step further. You've done some really good work. I'm really proud of you guys. I'm really happy to have been some kind of an inspiration to you guys. And I'm going to move on at this point. The next few months I have to totally dedicate myself to Times Square, which is going to be unveiled in March. And I got to get it done, 2.5 years, so it's time to get this thing done. I'm going to kind of sequester myself in my studio and finish it. And I will be back on occasion. Patrick asked me to be on TechZilla, so when CS5 comes out, I'll probably come on and show it to you guys, show you all the new features of CS5, and there's some really cool ones, trust me. So it's been a lot of fun. I'm really happy to have spent these couple of years with you guys, and all the episodes are still online. So the forums will still be active, so you want to get up there and say some stuff, be my guest. I will be checking the forums every now and then. And once again, remember to play. It's the best way to learn this stuff is to sit there and play. All right? See you guys somewhere in the future.